Have you heard of astral projection? Chances are you have, but what about remote viewing? Again, chances are you have, especially if you're into metaphysics, things dealing with ESP, and even meditation. However, do you know the difference between the two? Well, if you don't, this is where I come in to help you out with that. For this is Tell Me About It, astral projection versus remote viewing. Before getting into it, I just want to give a big shout out to Nick for recommending this Tell Me About It topic. If it weren't for him, I would not be doing this. So, thank you, Nick, and you guys be sure to give him some love if you see him in the comments. Now, let's jump into it. Astral projection and remote viewing both seem similar to one another, but they're different forms of your consciousness leaving the physical body. With astral projection, the consciousness leaves the earthly plane and travels into the astral plane. Depending on who you ask, the astral plane is an afterlife that we go to after the physical body dies, and this is where the spiritual body will live on. Others say that it's more like a boundary or a waiting room before we go to the afterlife. And some say it is its own universe that dwarfs the size of the universe we currently reside in on the physical realm. Ultimately, there is no general consensus on what the astral plane is. You'll just have to go there and see it for yourself. There are three types of remote viewing: associative remote viewer, extended remote viewer, and controlled remote viewer, in a dedicated Tell Me About remote viewing in the future. Remote viewing is projecting your consciousness to another space, time, and on some very rare occasions, another dimension. Remote viewing is a type of clairvoyance and mainly happens on the earthly plane. Psychics have reported being able to use remote viewing to find missing people, see past events that lead to trauma, and even spiritual hauntings. At one point, the US government was studying remote viewing as part of the Starfield project, which was started in the 70s and ended in 1995. The book, The Men Who Stare at Goats, goes over this and is very much worth the read. The project was ended because no real proof of remote viewing or other psychic phenomena was gathered. There are some self-proclaimed psychics out there who seem to confuse astral projection for remote viewing. When this happens, it's probably best to walk away from them. Remember, when you astral project, it's leaving your body. It's a type of outer body experience, and you go to a higher or lower astral plane and might even see entities native to said planes. There is also a wider range of color that you'll become aware of, and you won't see anything that resembles Earth. Remote viewing is interesting as time can overlap with it. What you see in everyday life, you'll see while remote viewing, but with an extra twist. You might see a city where there should be nothing but undeveloped land, or see undeveloped land where there should be a city. This is because remote viewing allows the practitioners to see various timelines. Now, going back to astral traveling, some have explained that astral traveling isn't truly the spirit traveling interdimensionally, but rather a strong form of lucid dreaming. The problem is there's no hard proof to back up either claim, but it's interesting to theorize about. It's said that to consciously astral project, you need to lie on your back in a dark room with no electromagnetic interference while relaxing your muscles and mind. It's best done in that in-between state of being awake and falling asleep. You then focus your intention on astral traveling and repeating this over and over. Feel yourself hover above your body and then allow yourself to fully leave it. While this seems simple, it requires a lot of practice and dedication. Meditation and rhythmic drum beats also help with this exercise as well. If you are somehow able to astral travel, be aware that it's not always safe. People who claim to have visited the astral plane have said they've encountered and attracted low vibrational entities who try to harm them. They didn't go into detail about how or why these entities wanted to harm them, but they said that the sense of dread and fear is amplified. And some who were harmed said they were pulled back into their physical body and it felt like a jolt of force hit them into it. Now, when it comes to remote viewing, there are no real dangers to it unless it's just your own mind playing tricks on you and you don't really remote view. The good thing is, with remote viewing, for the most part, you stay on the earthly plane. Like astral projection, you want to have no electromagnetic interference and enter a calm state when attempting to remote view. But unlike astral projection, you want to focus on a specific person, place, object, or even time. Verbal descriptions and sketches are often used to give details of what has been seen. So, simply put, astral projection is an out-of-body experience that involves the consciousness traveling to a place not of this physical world and possibly universe. This can happen intentionally or unintentionally. Remote viewing is intentionally trying to view a place, event in time, or even people at a distance and recording in detail what was seen. This happens on the earthly plane and falls under the clairvoyance category of ESP. And with that, you said tell me about astral projection versus remote viewing, and now you've been told. Be on the lookout for the individual tell me about it for these two phenomena, as we'll be going into more specific detail on those. Thank you all for checking it out, and if you have a suggestion for a future Tell Me About It, let us know in the comment section down below, and let us know on social media. Those links can be found in the description. Thank you all again, and we will be seeing you next Tell Me About It.